the thing is that when you start to realize that everything you experience emotionally has a physical component, that we are our own pharmacy, and that pharmacy is producing cortisol and adrenaline and noradrenaline and all of the norepinephrine and all of these different compounds that we literally get addicted to.
Yeah.
So if anger produces a cocktail of chemicals that flood through your body, well, you do that enough times, you become addicted to your anger.
Right.
And that's why you go to anger management the same way you would go to like alcoholic rehab. You go to anger you try to rewire these things. Stress is the same way. Whatever that combination of predominantly cortisol, but of course the other things I mentioned, adrenaline, norepinephrine, all of these different things that are created in different stressful situations, it becomes like your drug. And so there's a physical component to it. And then also the psychological thing that you reach for, what is really feeding this addiction in a way. And what it takes, first of all, awareness. I mean, I have my own thoughts about Alcoholics Anonymous and the way that they handle things.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know if it's necessarily the best way, but I think they have some things right. And I think the first thing is to acknowledge like, oh, I'm addicted to stress, and that's okay. And like start there and like realize, okay, this is an addiction. So that way you have the awareness that when you're in a stressful situation and things feel stressful, you say, am I doing this on purpose? Do I want this? Is this something that I want? And that actually starts to give you more agency, and that starts to give you more control. And I think that's the name of the game. Awareness is really the thing that is the most important. And to be aware that anything that you're doing habitually is creating a pattern, and it's going to take energy to rewire a new pattern. So every time we've been stressful, carves a groove, all of the epigenetic triggers, all of the different things that happen, all of the receptor sites for all of those chemicals, they're all formed. So the more we feed them, the more that goes on. And just carve a new path, carve the addiction to peace and presence and bliss, then that starts to build momentum as well, as you're carving that neural pathway, that addiction. So it's really like, I don't think you can escape addiction as a human being. It's just like, what do you want to be addicted to? How about we're addicted to love? How about we're addicted to that flood that we feel when we're addicted to love? And I think that's what the mystics and the gurus, they're addicted to. It's not that they're not addicted. They're addicted to love. They're addicted to presence. And the longer they're in that, the easier it is for them to be in it because they're addicted to it. And so if you switch that, it can be used in your favor instead of used against you. It's just deciding what you want to be addicted to, because I don't think we're able to escape it inside a body that has the structure that it has, where it just adapts to create the same patterns, conserve energy, and then the receptor sites for all of these different chemicals form to meet what we are actually feeding it. So I think that's ultimately the lesson, is just asking yourself, all right, what do I want to be addicted to? And get yourself addicted.